You want to come? I've been taking it all in. It's just so hard to comprehend all the different weather disasters that are going on right now. Steve, I'll see you down there. Doesn't look so bad now, T-Rex. Let's go out the back door. Come on, let's go. Let's go out the back door. What's the question? A little lazy today, huh, Steve? T-Rex is always ready to go. It's 51 degrees at 11:15 on January 13th. That Accurate always wants to make a thunderstorm. The barometer is 29.46 inches. That's a low barometer. And that means there's a storm around. The flag came down in preparation for this storm. Didn't want to lose my flag. What wind? What is wind? Not much here. It just slacked here. And day 4 of another January thaw. Looks like we picked up another inch of rain. Steve, will you be joining us? Come on, you're part of the team. Let's go out the door, Steve. Come on. Come on, Steve. Lot to talk about. Whoops. Sorry, got a little tangled up there. There we go. There we go. All right, so now let's do some weather and more. There's way too much weather. Hard to fit it all in my head. Let's go back to the basics. What is wind? Air moving from high to low pressure. And I will show you a very busy surface weather map this morning. Black numbers are the temperatures, 50 to 55 southeastern Massachusetts. Red numbers are wind gusts, 60 to 65 miles per hour in the Gulf of Maine. And blue numbers, that's the barometer in millibars. So you're up over 1,000 millibars in Maine and to 982 millibars over Lake Huron. 982 again is 29 inches. So anytime you get a storm with a central pressure below 29 inches or 982, I'd call that a major storm. This is the third major storm to impact coast to coast in 7 days. It was a week ago today that wall of snow came in. For most of New England, it was a snowstorm. Here, it was a sad rainstorm for me on Sunday before a brief blizzard. That would be a week ago tomorrow. We had our first plowable snow. And since then, we had the Tuesday storm and the record flooding in Portland, Maine. And this storm also capable of record flooding. It's actually happening right now on the coast of Maine, rivaling February 7th, 1978 as the worst flood in modern history around Casco Bay, the coast of Maine and New Hampshire. This is no repeat of the blizzard of 78 here around southern New England. 1978 was a 2 full tide cycle storm. That is, we had 2 days of record flooding and hurricane force winds. Speaking of hurricane force winds, what are you guys doing? Gathering around? Look at that critter hole. It's gotten bigger since we were away. We're going to have to put one of them cams on that. Look at Rex is standing on Steve's line. Come on, Steve. We can go over here. Hurricane force wind plus several miles per hour before the station went down. This is Porter Haney in Starksboro, Vermont, elevation 1,391 feet. He says he saw a wind gust to 86 miles per hour. That's west of Sugarbush, Vermont this morning. So needless to say, there are wind hold issues at our ski resorts where it was about 3 to 5 inches of snow, and it'll go back to snow after midday. Rain and snow mixed, and the wind is really going to calm down for a time this afternoon. But we have an Arctic front coming at us tomorrow. And even though I didn't look at it yet, here is the 12Z NAM high resolution showing the blue is snow, green is rain, black lines are isobars. The closer the black lines together, the more wind there is. And it's going to shift and come around from the west and even west-southwest with snow squalls, those dark blue patches that I really don't even know where they are, but there could be a snow squall at just about anyone's house from northern Maine to southwestern Connecticut, from the Champlain Valley to Cape Cod tomorrow. Then we get like a little time off. So let's go back to the real big picture and talk about the barometer.
a 1,058 millibar high-pressure system east of Alaska with temperatures of 45 to 55 below zero from the Northwest Territories of Canada down to Montana. This morning, Butte, Montana. I believe I saw minus 47, something like that. And the temperature for the Chiefs-Dolphins game is sub-zero tonight, and it's going to be windy, about 2 or 3 below. I hear that we can't even watch it on TV. It's just streaming. Is that right? That's not right. I mean, it may be correct, but it's just not right, if you know what I mean. Anyhow, if we go to the... to say, all right, so there's a 1058 high in northwestern Canada, and we've got this 982 low over Lake Huron. What's the math on that? 18 plus 58. 76 millibar pressure gradient. What is wind? Air flowing from that high into that blizzard, now exiting northern Michigan. Michigan is the state with the most power outages this morning. It was actually kind of an icy blizzard in Michigan. And Vermont's playing catch-up with the power outages, too. So a lot of places, no power. So this storm is pulling out, and it's going to leave us in the wake of very cold, snow-squally weather here tomorrow. I mentioned that. Now, if we go to the Euro, why don't I go to the 850 millibar temperature so we can track that cold. So purple is Arctic air, and then in there, there's sort of a silvery blob inside the purple. That is that negative 40 degree and lower air. And you can see it's headed more south than east, although a piece of it does come through here. It looks like tomorrow night, Monday into Tuesday. And at that point, we have the yellow not too far to our south. There's going to be a storm, and I think almost locked in here, somewhere nor'easter on Tuesday into Wednesday. And then we get another refill of the cold. And the back edge of the cold now is lifting out of the western United States. The temperature is going to go from record cold to it looks like record warm. And then here by day 10, all the cold is pretty much gone out of the lower 48. So we're having a longer winter than last winter when it only lasted 2 days, February 2 and 3. We get a whole week of it this year in the Boston area. Here's the 3 to 5 day. You see the temperature, our January thaw ends tonight with a freeze, and then it stays freezing and below for most of the week, and you see some snowflakes on Tuesday. I think the Tuesday system really is going to hit us pretty hard, even though the Euro doesn't show that. And the Euro 14 day for Boston, you can see it runs cold almost through the entire next 2 weeks, and then it starts to warm up there at the end. A rough road continues. This is the most extreme, close together parade of severe winter storms again I've seen in my life since 1978, then 1996, now 2024. And it has as much to do with that cold that's across our side of the North Pole and the warmth. And I didn't even get to all the wind gusts. Mount Washington this morning gusted to 111 miles per hour. And what else? Blue Hill only gusted to 50. How'd that happen? Well, the wind was more east than southeast or south. And the triple point low was farther away. So we got spared here in southeastern Massachusetts as far as the wind goes. But now you can see the water levels down here at my jetty are already passing flood stage, and I'm still an hour away from high tide, so I probably should go over to some of the coastal roads over there to see if I can't see how big the waves are and how bad the flooding is, but I don't want to get in people's way either, so it's a tough call. The sky is brightening here. Looks like the sun's trying to come out. And more. Well, we left Vermont yesterday. It was so pretty. Oh yeah, yesterday morning, Weir and I were expecting an undercast, mostly Weir, and some optical phenomena. At Stowe, it did not happen, but Weir was correct. An undercast did develop in Smuggler's Notch. This is the ski report, and P. Abel, is that how you say your name, P? Thanks for sharing. Incredible optical phenomena. Now, those are not rainbows. These are the halo phenomena of sunlight refracting off of ice crystals with multiple halo and tangential arc phenomena. Thank you, P, for sharing that picture from Smuggler's Notch. The beauty yesterday, the beast today, and now the Arctic chill coming in for the next 7 days or so. And when that pulls out there around January 26 or 7, is that the end of winter? I'm sure we'll hear that, but we'll see. We will be ice skating on some of the ponds here in southern New England by the end of next week, and maybe even some ice down here on our water. So a couple of scenes from traveling back from northern New England. So, you know, we do a lot of travel in this YouTube station here too. So it's weather and wind and some sports and some music and a lot of travel and more and more and more. And Maine Coon cats, and I call T-Rex a schmuggle dog because he looks like a shepherd pug mutt. And he's gone up the stairs. He's trying to go in the door. Talk to you later, tomorrow. What's that? What's that, Steve? Check the rain gauge? I forgot to check the rain gauge. What's wrong with me? I think this was another overachiever. I've heard reports of more than an inch. Yeah, we went over an inch, and underneath that, that's about a 0.04. So that's about 1.4 inches of rain. If it were snow, it wouldn't be with this high dew point, but that'd be a foot of snow. So this 1.4, that gets us close to 7 inches just at my house so far this January. So we're gonna go in the books as one of the wettest Januaries in modern history. Green grass in January, who wants it? 52 degrees. I didn't check the record today, but I'm sure we're pretty close to record highs here. Remember, there's record cold out west, record high somewhere adjacent. All right, and more. About 1:15, just gorgeous Friday. Almost an inversion for me now. We're getting out of Dodge before the storm of people and before the storm of weather. Well, huge weekend. Made the mistake of terrible timing for a big storm. No, he's sad. Oh well, nice snowbanks. Last for about 20 minutes, right? All right, see you next time. After the polar vortex goes by next week, we'll come back and check it out again. Yeah, the Toll House Double is open now. You can take the lift all the way from here. I think, what is it, about 3 miles up to the resort? There it is. Toll House Double. Double trouble if you're in a hurry. Is this the free parking?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it is. This is the free parking. And it's the shuttle bus. And that's the Toll House. You can actually take that lift up. Mississauga in its banks for now. It does not look like it's going to be warm enough to melt all the snow this time. But different story over by the ocean. Mississauga. Is that how you say that? Mississauga. Suddenly, total sunshine coming down to the Connecticut River Valley. Yeah.
Weather being weather.
Still a good amount of snow on the ground anyway. 40 degrees. Been going over this bridge for, I don't know, about 35 years. Let's say for about 25 of those years, it's been being worked on. Are we getting a new one? Beautiful Friday. Beauty and the calm before the beast and the storm.
Another storm?
Unprecedented series of back-to-back-to-back-to-back severe winter storms. But everyone else is heading north. We're heading south. Who's got the best idea? Gorgeous afternoon. It doesn't look like Wellback is open right now. I think they ski at night. Well, you'd never think a storm was coming. I guess we take it for granted now that we just can figure it out ahead of time.
Yep.
Thanks to our forefathers like Benjamin Franklin. I also put Isaac Newton in there too. Somebody named Celsius. What's his name?
What do we got? What do we got here?
Whaleback covered in snow, steep runs, and no one here. So who knows the hours at Whaleback? They work at night here. It's Friday night. The lift's going. Oh yeah, there's somebody on the lift. A couple people in the learning area there. Oh yeah, here we go. We got skiers. We got skiers. More and more and more. In New Hampshire. Sunapee, straight ahead. Let's do it. Do they have night skiing? Kidding. Ice waterfalls next week will be 4 feet thick. Near the polar vortex. And there's the reason for climate change right there.
Water vapor?
Water vapor. It's the most powerful greenhouse gas. Apparently no one cares that it's going to rain and blow at the mountains. They made their plans, headed north. Glad we chose to get out of Dodge before the storm of people and weather. Oh, really cool cirrocumulus waves perpendicular to the flow starting to show up way ahead of this storm as we go back down Back River Road into Merrimack, New Hampshire. Pretty sunset. Back River Road, waves in the sky. There's a little Yankee ingenuity going on. Look at that. What is that? Wow. What was that? Somebody with too much time and big equipment. How did he balance those things out? Anyhow, so we're back to Merrimack. Storm is incoming. Those waves in the sky are indicative of how strong these storms are. They're emanating hundreds of miles out from the center of the blizzard just west of Chicago today. That'll do. That's enough. Shut off your camera, Tim. All right.